Welcome to the Everyday is Saturday podcast, the #1 motivation show on the planet.
No more Mondays for you. It's time to make every day Saturday. Boom!
This is the podcast where we help you to accept who you are, not where you are.
On the roller coaster of life, you know we only sit in the front seat, champion. So make sure you are fastened and tight. Let's go!
Tired of feeling run down all the time during the week? We can help you make every day feel like it's a Saturday.
Let's go. Pack your bags. It's time to leave Averageville.
Introducing the man who thinks abnormal stands for above normal.
When you're on fire, people will travel from miles around to watch you burn, baby. We are fired up.
The host of the Everyday is Saturday show, Sam Crowley.
Hello, champion. Welcome back to the show. Sam Crowley here. We have, it's the answer bag today. Every now and again, we get a question inside of our group, or I get a question from a listener, and I think it's a really good question, so I answer it on the podcast because they're not the only one with the question. You probably got it too. So let's dive into Nate, my man Nate, inside the Everyday Saturday group that we have online. He said, hey, Sam, coaches and mentors help you skip years of trial and error and unnecessary mistakes and detours. And on the other side of the coin, we still have to be the captain of our own ship and make judgment calls and run things through our own filters. I really, really love your saying, harvest the best and throw away the rest. But I'm curious what words of wisdom you'd have for deciding which is which. Do you let the Holy Spirit be your guide? Pay attention to what actually works and keeps working? Or know thyself so you can know what is aligned with your personal circumstances and your gifts? Man, that's a great question. Harvest the best and throw away the rest. You hear it on this show a lot. What I mean by that, I'll give an example, okay? In the space I'm in, the coaching, mentoring space, you also have a lot of speakers in this space. Good people, but I don't agree with everything they say. For example, you'll have somebody say, the universe, God, the universe, whatever that means. No. I'm done with that. I'm checked out right there. I'm not going to not listen to anything else they say because, for example, maybe somebody is teaching on YouTube ads or Facebook ads or an online funnel, and they're very knowledgeable about that. But they throw that little thing in about, hey, you got to listen to God or whatever God is to you. Maybe it's, you might think it's universe. There's one God, Jesus Christ. That's it. I ain't listening anything past that relative to their thoughts on faith, spirituality, religion. I just don't subscribe to that. So I tune it out. That's what I mean by I'm going to harvest the best of what they're going to teach me about online marketing, but I'm just going to throw away the rest of what they're talking about spirituality. And look, this podcast is the same way. What I say on the podcast, that's what I believe, what I've done. I'm not saying it's the only story. I'm not even saying it's the right story. I'm just saying it's my story. So take a lot of the lessons that you hear on the podcast, put them to work, what vibes with you and what that means to you. And then you got to judge the results. Like, what results are you getting? Because that's the thing, man. You can listen. I mean, there's a lot of professional seminar attendees out there, people that just go to seminars. They just watch online webinars. And they gather up all this information, but they never act on it. I'd rather somebody take one nugget of what they heard and then do something about it, create some momentum. The other part of Nate's question is, do you pay attention to what actually works and keeps working? Yes. But the thing is, and this isn't just to Nate, I mean, this would be my answer back to anybody. Have you tried something that you're able to actually measure the results from? Because that's where a lot of people get stuck. They get a lot of information. Listen to podcasts right before this one. My major meltdown on the golf course. Colossal meltdown. What was that? That was a byproduct of having way too much information in my head, and not being able to execute a simple golf swing that I've done for a very long time. So when you think about that and whatever it is that you're trying to do, don't go drinking out of a fire hose of information, because then you're just weighed down. Like you have tied 2 cinder blocks to your ankles and you've jumped into the water. You got to take a little bit and something that really resonates with you, like something that's simple for you to execute. I used the YouTube ads example. When I first started doing YouTube ads a couple of years ago, I didn't know anything about it. I knew absolutely nothing about it, but I knew how to make a video on my cell phone. The actual like real nuts and bolts of it, that's where I needed the coaching, and that's where I needed all of the help. They didn't do it for me. They just gave me the guide on how to do it. But I know how to shoot a video. It's very simple for me to put my cell phone on a tripod, shoot a video, and upload it to YouTube. Been doing that a while. So that was the part where I paid attention to what actually works, which was I knew video worked. I knew I could do it. So then I needed coaching on how to implement it once the video got shot. That's it. That's all I really needed the most help with. And then that was step 2. Let's get this baby on YouTube and start firing some traffic to an online funnel that somebody else built for me. So there was a lot of plates spinning in the air with that, but I kept it super simple. I'm like, I'm just going to record a few 3-minute videos, and those are going to be my ads. I'm going to get coaching on how to execute this. And with the coaching, there was some of it. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. Here's another example. Perfect. Scaling. I talked about this on the podcast a few months back, where scaling means you find something that works, whether it's an ad, your funnel, something you're making, and you scale. I mean, big companies scale. That means you develop a method, a system that works, and you just fire money at it, and you keep scaling and scaling and scaling. And I love that model. But here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to build a team of closers, setters and closers, people that are handling all the Zoom calls for me, and they're selling my product for me. And I could scale this business to multiple 7 figures. Easy. And I don't say that, because the method's already there. It's simple for me to do. But I don't want employees. I love being a solopreneur. I don't want to manage a lot of people. I've done that before in the past. I didn't enjoy it. I would say I wasn't even very good at it towards the end because my passion wasn't there. For me, it felt like I was running an adult daycare. All of these employees, all of the drama, all the problems that come up. That's not my talent. For somebody else that can do that, let them do that. Like that, they love that. I just don't have a passion for it. So that's why I never scaled. And I've had so many people, a lot of coaches say, Sam, you're really missing out. This could be a 7-8 figure business you're sitting on. I'm like, yeah. Oh, I know. I get it. But that's more time away from family. It's more time away from the things that I really enjoy doing. I've got 25 years left on earth, maybe. I don't want to spend the next 5 or 10 with a bunch of 7-8 figure problems. I just don't. Some may even call that playing small. Okay, that's fine. But this goes to the last part of Nate's. Know thyself so you can know what is aligned with your personal circumstances and gift. I know myself. I know my gifts. I know what I'm aligned with. And that is a very simple solopreneur lifestyle. I have no interest in building out a huge business. It's not playing small. But again, this is my perspective. So harvest the best, throw away the rest. You might want to scale something to 8-10 figures. Giddy up if that's your passion. I would just say be careful what you wish for. A lot of miserable, wealthy people, right? We all do. We all know people that have a lot of money and they're absolutely miserable. So it can't be the money because that didn't even make them happy. It's the lifestyle. It's the stress that they have every single day. They can't sleep. I sleep like a dead animal every night. Go to bed at 9 o'clock, wake up at 4:30. Totally refreshed. This time of year, I'm always out. First, as soon as the sun's out, man, I am out on our property doing weeding, the pool work with our in-ground pool. I'm always walking around. I try to get 5,000 to 6,000 steps in before anybody even wakes up in our home. Like, that's what I do in the summertime. I don't go to the gym. All of my exercise is done outside. I know myself. If I was running a big company, the first thing I'd be doing at 5 in the morning, answering emails, making sure everybody has what they need, support tickets coming in, all that. I just don't want to do that. Know thyself, because you don't have a lot of time. And if your time is going to be spent doing things because you have to do them compared to wanting to do them, are there things in business as an entrepreneur, even as a solopreneur, that you don't necessarily want to do, you have to? Of course there is, but it's not a very large list. Certainly not compared to the other person I just described who's got just, oh my God, it's Monday. I got to get up and I got to do all these different things. And I got to make sure. I don't want to do that. So harvest the best, meaning whatever you're learning out there from coaches and from mentors, there's a nugget. Even if I'm a Christian, okay? We obviously know that. I say it all the time on the podcast. But even if I plugged into an atheist's marketing, I wouldn't not learn from them just because they don't believe in God. I would show up on their webinar or to their seminar. First of all, I probably wouldn't even know they were an atheist until I actually heard them talk, maybe. I don't even know. You know what I mean? But I'm just using an extreme example. If they got up there and talking about, no, I just believe in Big Bang, about, okay, great. I'm here for a marketing seminar. You know, I'm here for the gold nuggets of that. What you teach me with that, I'm going to learn and put it into practice. Everything else I'm just going to throw away. So, Nate, thanks for the question. I hope it gave you at least some semblance of an answer. I hope it helped you, the podcast listener, as well. Try to navigate through all this different advice, all these different opinions you get out there. Look, when the rubber meets the road, man, I'm telling you, do simple better. Keep it simple. Do it better than anybody else out there. All right? That's it. That's a wrap. Thanks for listening to the podcast. See you back on the next show. Remember, have the best day ever. And that's a wrap. Another Everyday is Saturday podcast in the books. Thanks so much for listening. Would you do your boy a favor? Would you get on iTunes or wherever you listen to the Everyday Saturday podcast and leave a rating for the show? It helps amazing people like you find the show faster. And that's what I'm looking for, amazing people like you. Hey, I'm always hanging out on the interwebs. You can check me out on Instagram at Everyday is Saturday. Let me know you're listening to the show. Love hearing from fans of the Everyday Saturday podcast. And one last thing, when you're ready to launch, get on my calendar, go to launchwithsam.com. You and I are going to work together to set rocket fuel to your dream. Are you ready? Let's do it. I'll see you on the next Everyday is Saturday podcast.